The Honorable Person, our lecturer, Mr. Dr. Kaharuddin S.IP M.Hum, as a lecturer on phonetic and phonology course, and all of you guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, everyone, whenever you watch this video. I'm Ismail Mubarak. I'm a first year student of English Education Department, Class A of 2021. Tarbiyah and Teaching Science Faculty at Alauddin State Islamic University of Makassar. Well, today in this video, I would like to explain about articulation of suprasegmental sounds, specifically in intonation. I will talk about an intonation, and I will try to prediction about intonation in English. Well, so let's get started. Suprasegmental sounds about intonations. According to Baker A. and B. Zwanger M. 2017, intonation in English helps to mark the functions and the boundaries of a syntactic unit, like whether a sentence function to ask or to inform and etc. Besides, intonation is also used to emphasize new information in an utterance, which mainly function to express emotions or attitudes. In comparison to word stress, which is generally focused on where the place to stress prevalently in English words when speaking, intonation is more about how speakers should say utterance by raising, falling, or remaining their voice flat when speaking. It's all about how they produce their voice commonly indicate the mood of the speaker, such as anger, surprise, interest, gratitude, boredom, disappointment, and etc. Well, many linguists have analyzed English intonation and eventually distinguished at least four relative pitch levels. It has low pitch, which is marked as 1, flat pitch 2, high pitch 3, and extra high 4. Three pitch levels, high as low 1, normal 2, and high pitch 3, are commonly used in normal speech, which may convey different functions, like making statements, addressing questions, and etc. On the other hand, the other last level, that is extra high, which is 4, is commonly used for screaming or shouting, which is may convey other different functions, such as expression terrible fear, great happiness, raising anger, and etc. The linguists then establish intonation patterns for normal speech, that is following 2 plus 3 plus 1, rising 2 plus 3 plus 3, and combining patterns, which is 2 plus 3 plus 2 and plus 1. The overall patterns of intonation can be indicated by arrow symbols. It is downward arrow. It's used to indicate falling intonation, and upward arrow is used to indicate rising intonation, and a right arrow is to indicate flat intonation. Well, there are some general patterns of intonation, so I would like to explain about it and give some examples. So yeah, it will be clear. The first is falling intonation pattern, which is 2 plus 3 plus 1. Falling intonation is the most common intonation pattern used by a native speaker of English to convey the meaning of statements, comments, information, questions, which is WH questions, and confirmatory questions tags, as well as exclamations. So, for example, that we can see is first falling intonation in statements. So the example is that, nice to meet you. I'll be back in a minute. She doesn't live here anymore. Dad wants to change his car. Here is the weather forecast. He's looking for out for them. He's looking for out for them. I'm going for a walk in the park. Well, the next is following intonation in comments. For example, like in the sentence, what's your name here? Show me what you've written. Show me what you've written. Show me what you've written. Leave it on the desk. Take that picture down. Throw it out. Put your book on the table. Put your book on the table. Take your hands out of your pocket. Well, the next is following intonation in WH questions. Addressing questions beginning with questions words such as when, what, where, why, which, who, whom, and how. For example, like in the statement, what country do you come from? Where do you work? Which of them do you prefer? When did the shop opened? When did the shop opened? How many books have you bought? Whom are you looking for? Who is that man? Which card is yours? Which card is yours? Whose bag is this? Well, the next is following intonation in question tags, which is like confirmation statements. Some of the questions are simply used to ask for a confirmation or agree invitations. For example, like he thinks he's so clever, doesn't he? She's such an essence, isn't she? I failed the test because I didn't revise, did I? It doesn't seem to bother him much, doesn't it? Well, the next is following intonation in exclamations. Some example that I can give you is that, how nice of you. That's just what I need. You don't say, what a beautiful voice. What a beautiful voice. That's a surprise. Well, the next is raising intonation pattern, which is this pattern is used 2 plus 3 plus 3. Native English speakers commonly use this intonation pattern for yes or no questions, beginning with auxiliary modals like can, will, must, should, and etc. And also auxiliary verb like do, does, did, have, has, and etc. in which a yes or no answer is needed. Well, there are some examples that I'll give you for yes no questions. Are you ready to go? Have you finished already? Did you see him? Can you play the guitar? Do you have any storybook? Do you have any storybooks? Do you have any storybooks? Does she come every day? Well, the next is raising intonation in affirmative sentence converted to questions. He got the job. Tara will come this afternoon. Then will come this afternoon. The president just resigned from his positions. The president just resigned from his positions. The president just resigned from his position. Well, the next is raising intonation in questions tags as real questions. There is an example here. We met already, haven't we? You like fish, didn't you? She's a new student, isn't she? The food is nice, isn't it? Well, next is combining intonation pattern. There were two types of this combining intonation pattern. The first is rise fall, which is used pattern 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. This type of intonation commonly begins with flat pitch laba, which is 2, then rise to high laba on the 3, and the next goes down to the flat level again 2, and finally falls in the low level ones, which native speakers of English tend to use this type of intonation pattern for expressing choices, lists, and finish though and conditional sentence. Well, look at the combining intonation in choices, for example, like, are you having tea or coffee? Is James leaving on Monday or Wednesday? Does he speak Chinese or Japanese? Is her name Lee or Leah? Well, the next is combining intonations in list. In this type, intonation falls on the last item to show that the list mentioned is finished. Well, look at for some example. We've got apples, pears, bananas, and orange. The sweater comes in blue, white, pink, and black. He likes football, tennis, basketball, and volleyball. Jane bought a blouse, a hat, and a skirt. Well, the next is combining intonation in unfinished thoughts. In casual conversation, speakers sometimes address questions which is not able to fully responded by the speaker's interlocutor. In that situation where one could only express partial statements, so the riseful intonation is used to indicate that he or she hesitates to fully express his or her thoughts. Consider the following example, like in the statement, for example, like do you like my new handbag? Well, the leather is nice. What was the meal like? The fish was good. So you will live in Los Angeles? Well, Alex does, but well, the next is combining intonation in conditional sentence. Conditional sentence always consists of two clauses. As the native English speakers use this kind of sentence, they commonly use raising intonation in the first clause and use falling intonation in the second clause. For example, like, if he calls, ask him to leave a message. Unless he insists, I'm not going to go. If you have any problems, just contact us. Well, the next is fall rise intonation, which is used pattern 2 plus 1 plus 3. This type of intonations usually take place in one word in which an utterance is started by using flat pitch 2, then the pitch level changes into particular word to low pitch 1, but the pitch level rises to high level 3 on another syllable of the word. This intonation functions to indicate that a speaker is not very sure of an answer given to a question or hesitation. Besides it, it can be used to express polite suggestions or requests as well. Well, the first is fall rise intonation in hesitations. For example, like, so you'd be willing to confirm that? Well, I suppose so. The other example is like, you didn't see him on Monday? I don't quite remember. Well, the next is fall rise intonation in polite and uncertainty or doubt. This type of intonation is used when the speaker is not sure what the answer of the questions are he or she addressing. There are some example here, well, for example, like, perhaps we could visit the place. Perhaps we could visit the place. Should we copy the list? Should we copy the list? Should we copy the list? Do you think it's allowed? Well, although the intonation patterns have been established, but intonations remains patterned in the sense that moving intonation from the word to another in one sentence or using different level of pitch on the same word and utterance will produce different character of sounds and meaning. Like, for example, different intonation pattern used will change the meaning. In the word like James went, and in the word like James went to Jakarta. James went to Jakarta. It's a statement. And the other example is James went to the Jakarta. James went to the Jakarta, which is a questions. Well, maybe that's all from me. Explanation about articulating of suprasegmental sounds, specifically in intonations, which is intonation is very important to learn because by intonation, it will help us to express and to inform what I want to speak and what I want to speak. So yeah, it's important to learn about. And thank you very much for you guys who watched this video till the end, and I'm so sorry for all my mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.